And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Monday live stream where I answer your questions about cell phone plans and help you save as much money as possible. Before we dive into it today, we have to pour one out for all of our friends and family members who are on T-Mobile because T-Mobile is currently experiencing a network outage. I'm curious if anyone in the chat has been impacted by that because it is actively going on right now. So we have some more information. Let me actually pull this up and we can do a quick what's going on with the T-Mobile outage segment at the stage. So 4 hours ago, we had Jojo Gray throw in the T-Mobile subreddit, T-Mobile outage. His service or this person's service was completely dead for like 10 minutes. Did anyone else experience this? Apparently, calling customer service and power cycling the device fixed it, but edit 2, that fix was only temporary. So now we have more information from Waternut 13.13.4. I've pinned this to the sub. Edit, the outage just appeared to start happening about 1 hour ago. Appears over 200,000 users are affected as of now, and that number is growing rapidly. Zero ETA as to when this will be fixed. As of right now, Wi-Fi calling still works, so connecting to Wi-Fi will help resolve the issues. For those with iPhones, you can still iMessage and FaceTime audio call to other users, so a little bit of a plus for Apple devices there. You can also use third-party services like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, TextNow, etc. So basically, any texting or calling over internet appears to be working, but actual SMS does not appear to be working. Unclear if RCS is working or not, but it sounds like maybe some issues. I'll mention this, but have zero proof. It appears the outage could be affecting more iPhones than Androids for some reason. I've seen multiple people post this, and myself included, where the iPhone is in SOS and the Android is working fine. Well, that's a big W for Android because everything is just working. So that's what's going on. Curious what you guys think, if you guys have been impacted by this and what's been happening. So what we got? Hello, Stetson Dominic. Hello. It is an IMS-related outage, IMS deregistration. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what that means, but hopefully it comes back soon. In my case, Wi-Fi calling was not working. Interesting, John saying, so during this incident, my regular personal line didn't have service, but my personal T-Priority line had intermittent service. My actual government line seemed to keep service. Oh my gosh, John, how many lines do you have over there? Tommy's saying my S26 Ultra lost signal for about 10 minutes before I restarted my phone and got my service back. So basically seems to be working. For what it's worth, I have my T-Mobile phone here and speeds are excellent. I can just start a test and you guys can see that it's working fine. I had no issues here in Longmont, Colorado to report. So not 100% sure what's going on there. Good evening, Kevin. Great to see you here. All right, we have to jump back. We had a couple super chats come in. First, it's not me, it's someone else. What is happening with the T-Mobile outage? Is it Trevor's fault or did the MVNOs cause it? I always knew MVNOs were evil, just trying to disrupt American lives by hooking people with their low prices. Then bam, no cell service for you. Great question. It turns out this is not caused by Trevor or by the MVNOs. This is an actual T-Mobile network outage. And it's kind of curious, depending on the network architecture and where you are, sometimes the MVNOs can actually be fine, and it's the actual parent company that has issues. So a while back, we had a Verizon outage, and if you guys remember that, Verizon postpaid subscribers were the ones who were impacted. Their service was going down, but funny enough, Visible and US Mobile customers, they were totally fine. So the Verizon MVNO tech stack, system core, whatever was being used for that, totally operational, but whatever was part of the Verizon postpaid group, something in that tech stack went down, and that was causing the network issues. So with this T-Mobile one, it seems like it's a widespread issue. I think I have seen some people reporting issues with Google Fi and possibly Mint Mobile. And I think I saw a post on the US Mobile subreddit. So it seems like it's a reasonably sized issue that is not only impacting T-Mobile customers, but also those with service on T-Mobile, such as Mint Mobile, such as Tello, such as US Mobile, and others. So that's all we know. We don't have much more information. I was trying to check the T-Mobile subreddit, see if we had anything else. Most of the pin posts are about the price hike, which is obviously a bummer. But yeah, the outage is there. Also, like, said, got to go to Reddit to find out about the problem, not from T-Mobile. That's funny. Dang. I'm sure Down Detector has this as well. And outages in the US. Looks like user report problems with T-Mobile. Yeah, it looks like a pretty big outage there. And it also looks like we were talking about, Mint and Metro also have users reporting an outage. So again, and Google Fi. So this is not just a T-Mobile isolated incident. This is a issue that is impacting all customers riding on the T-Mobile network. Curiously, it looks like Verizon and so we got Tello and Ultra Mobile also in there, and US Cellular, basically anyone on T-Mobile. Very curious to see a couple other issues, Verizon and Boost, not 100% sure, and AT&T. So not sure what's going on. It seemed like T-Mobile was the big one that I saw on Reddit. So curious if you guys are experiencing any issues. All right. Taylor, thank you so much for your generosity and support. I appreciate you. What's your opinion on the T-Mobile migration? Customers losing their free lines. Do you think they should stay or ship, and why? This is a great question and kind of comes back to what's been popular on the T-Mobile subreddit. So I can kind of pull that up. The big thing is this post here, breaking T-Mobile is forcing T-Mobile to force migrate over 8 million customers to more expensive plans. So this is a great post by JMan100. They run the T-Mobile report. And basically, I love this image. The carrier. Yeah, that's right. The TLDR here is most people, or some individuals on these legacy plans, are being forced to migrate to newer, more expensive plans in the realm of about $6 per line per month more expensive. Now, if you have 1 or 2 lines, maybe this isn't a big deal. But if you've got maybe 6 lines or 8 lines, you've started stacking free lines, all of a sudden this can be quite a substantial monthly price hike for you. And there's a couple different ways to go about this. First, from a consumer perspective, obviously this sucks, right? Like if you're one of these 8 million customers, you've been with T-Mobile for years, 15 years, 20 years. You've been with T-Mobile for a long period of time. You're one of their most loyal customers. So to have your carrier suddenly turn to you and say, hey, we're jacking up your rate, that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel like T-Mobile is appreciating or rewarding your loyalty to them. Now, on the other hand, playing devil's advocate for a little bit here, you might have gone in on a plan that was crazy affordable, and T-Mobile might not have increased your price for 15 to 20 years. And well, goods and services tend to go up, right? The cost of, like, I guess gas is probably a horrible example, but I mean, generally speaking, there is inflation, and the costs of providing goods and services tend to gradually increase over time. And if you have been on a plan that hasn't changed prices, well, it's not necessarily a crazy idea for T-Mobile to adjust those prices. The other part of this is kind of going into the back-end system. T-Mobile has acquired now, who do they merge with? Sprint. So T-Mobile acquired Sprint, and all of a sudden they had the T-Mobile billing system and the Sprint billing system. And I can't even imagine the headache in terms of the volume of plans different customers were on. There were a bunch of different Sprint plans. There were legacy Sprint plans. There were people who've been on Sprint for 10 to 15 years with hundreds of grandfather plans. If you got all the grandfather people on T-Mobile, Then T-Mobile went and acquired US Cellular. So now you've got all the US Cellular customers, the US Cellular billing system, all of those people on their legacy plans. I'm sure there were, no joke, like thousands of different cell phone plans and probably multiple different billing systems. I'm sure from a technical standpoint, it was a nightmare. So to simplify this, I actually do think it makes a lot of sense for T-Mobile to migrate customers off of potentially an older billing system and onto a new billing system to consolidate that and make it hopefully better for them and a better experience for users. Now, did T-Mobile need to raise prices when they did that? No, they didn't. They could have easily recreated plans or created a plan that was equal to or better than the plan people previously had. But instead, T-Mobile chose to use this as an opportunity to raise prices. And again, that is super disappointing from a user experience perspective. Like, to be loyal to a company and have them jack up your rate, obviously not desirable. So should you stay or should you go? That's really the question here. And in the corporate world, it comes down to one thing: money talks. If you are happy with T-Mobile service and you like the coverage and the data speeds and the performance, I mean, here, look. If I go to coveragemap.com here and I toggle on the T-Mobile network, and let's just take a look in my area here in Longmont, speeds are crazy fast. Okay, speeds are well, not in that area. Don't look in that area. But most of the city, speeds are crazy fast. And in fact, if we zoom out a little bit and we actually go ahead and color this by the best carrier, all of these magenta squares are squares that get the fastest speeds on the T-Mobile network versus AT&T and Verizon. Verizon is a close second here, getting some of the second fastest speeds, and in many locations, the fastest speeds now that they've started rolling out C-band. But it's a great network. And maybe you don't want to leave the T-Mobile network, but you also don't want to be paying these extra prices. Well, in that scenario, that's where it can make sense to go ahead and be like, all right, let's go to Best Phone Plans. Let's check out these plans, and let's just see all the plans that offer T-Mobile coverage and give you truly unlimited data. And you can start comparing some of the different options. Mint Mobile, fantastic plan if you're willing to pay for that first year up front. And there's a sale. If we actually go to mintmobile.com right now, Mint is offering 50% off their unlimited plan. So instead of the 70, 80, or I don't even want to know how expensive the T-Mobile line is, you can grab a year of unlimited data for $15 a month. That's going to be $180 upfront for a year of service. But maybe you don't want to pay for a full year upfront. That's totally understandable. It's a higher rate. That's where you can look at plans such as US Mobile, the monthly plan, really good there. You've also got Metro by T-Mobile. This is probably one of my personal favorites. If you don't need hotspot, Metro's $25 bring your own device plan is fantastic. $25 flat, taxes and fees included. Unlimited data, it is deprioritized, but I don't think that matters on T-Mobile. No hotspot and 480p video streaming. One of the best value plans for truly unlimited data on T-Mobile. If you did want a hotspot, that's where you're going to want to upgrade to the unlimited 30 plan. And that gives you the same unlimited high-speed data and then throws in that 10 gigs of hotspot for that extra $5 per month. If you're interested in switching carriers, that's where it can make sense to kind of see how many lines you have and what network is best in your area. So you'd probably want to go to the Coverage Map website and throw in, I don't know, what's a good city? We'll do a state. How about, let's say you live in Wisconsin. All right. What's best in Wisconsin? I have no idea. I was like, oh, well, T-Mobile. I picked the one where T-Mobile appears to be the single best carrier and fastest carrier across the United States. But maybe you're like, all right, I want to go to Verizon. Okay, they appear to be the second best in terms of download speed, second best in terms of upload, and surprisingly good coverage and pretty good reliability here. So you want to check out Verizon. Okay, that's where it can make sense to go in, coverage, check out the plans on the Verizon network. Now you're looking at Visible Plus, fantastic plan. You've got the Total Max 5G bring your own device plan, right? You can get unlimited data for $25 a month from a lot of different providers. And if you're upset with T-Mobile, I encourage you just to switch. I mean, that's really the best way to show them that you're unhappy with what they're doing. So I hope that helps answer your question, Taylor. Appreciate the support as always. And there we go. All right. GPRani, thank you so much for your generosity and support. I've heard that during major emergencies, carriers allow all phones to use their network, even without subscribing. Is that true, and how does it work? That is a great question, and I am honestly unsure if it is true and how it would work. My best guess is it would be some sort of roaming agreement, and it would have to be, gosh, maybe like some sort of natural disaster or something. Like the outage we're having right now appears to be some sort of technical outage that my best guess will be resolved within 24 to 48 hours. And it doesn't appear to be region specific. So we'll see what happens. There's probably not going to be any roaming between carriers. Like Verizon and AT&T are probably not going to be like, yo, T-Mobile customers, come on and use our networks. No, probably not. Instead, this will resolve itself and we'll probably be fine. If there is maybe more of a natural disaster, maybe a hurricane hits and all the carriers go down and one carrier is perhaps able to get back up sooner, maybe they're going to establish a roaming agreement and that period in that region specific area for a set duration of time as the other carriers are rebuilding and reestablishing their networks. I could totally see that, and I think that would make a whole lot of sense. The other adjacent related thing to this is pretty much any phone you have, if it has a SIM card, I'm pretty sure it just needs a SIM card, but you can always dial 911 to make an emergency, even if you're in a roaming area or you're not paying for a data plan. Like those calls will always go through. And so that's another kind of adjacent scenario where maybe there isn't necessarily a major emergency that's impacting a lot of people, but you have a specific emergency and you need to contact emergency services, you can dial 911. And as long as your phone is in an area that has cell coverage from any provider, that call should go through. And that's something that's been established as well. But yeah, I don't know outside of that exactly how those roaming agreements work or how they're set up, but definitely appreciate the carriers helping people out in times of need. Dogsnator14. Hi, I'm Dogsnator with Canada News Network. We'd like your thoughts on T-Mobile's outage. Yeah, I mean, right now it appears to be impacting a lot of people. Reddit is probably the biggest news source about the outage right now. We've got the pinned post, T-Mobile outage, 2.3K upvotes. So I'll give it another one. 7,400 comments. We don't know when this is going to be resolved. Anecdotally, appears to be impacting more iPhone users than Android users for some reason. It appears that Wi-Fi calling might be still working for some individuals, so consider using that. Also, iMessage is still going to work. FaceTime audio calling is still going to work. Regular FaceTime calls are still going to work. And all the third-party services, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, etc., those will all still work. So be sure to use those and see what's happening there. I wonder if we do best new comments. We've got, I guess that explains it. Jeez. I'm only on because I'm using the hotspot of the person next to me. Guess what, though? We're on the same shared plan. That's crazy. So it almost doesn't seem to be region specific. It's almost like number specific. Oof. Central Mass, I found out because I was in the middle of transferring eSIMs to a new iPhone. Oh, gosh. On so many different levels. I mean, the new iPhones are coming out in like 2 months. Like, MX Food Lover, I feel like if you could have just waited a couple months and you would have gotten the brand spanking new iPhone 19, 19 Pro, that would have been sweet. Service is back now in New York. Yeah, my T-Mobile data is out too. I'm in Maryland, been out since 5 p.m. Started out by saying SOS, now there's nothing. Haven't seen any signs of it coming back. Still out in Buffalo, New York since approximately 5 p.m. Wow, seems somewhat consistent. This is funny. Down in Denver area with the Samsung iPhone working fine. again, here in Longmont appears to be working great for me. Been out since 4 p.m. Really, this is probably the best place to get a pulse on it. Feel free to throw a comment in there and see what's up. My phone is down, but my work phone is okay. Both T-Mobile. Very odd. Very odd. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be region specific. It doesn't seem to be impacting everyone, just like certain lines here and there. Very, very curious. Anyway, Docs in here, hope that is helpful. Appreciate the comment as always. ST Stanat 98. On US Mobile Premium, can I switch between any of the three on the annual plan, or is it just on the monthly? With the annual plan, you are able to switch between the three networks, do what US Mobile calls a teleport or a network transfer. I do believe they limit it though, and I think it's like, I don't know, 8 times per year or something like that. I wish I had this off the top of my head, but I think the truth is you're going to want to just reach out to US Mobile support directly and get an answer from them on that. I know in certain times where they've run promotions where only the Dark Star, the AT&T network, gets a specific deal or price, and if you sign up on that, well, they wouldn't want people to then switch to another network after the fact. And so I think for that promotion, it was maybe like, it might have been like 32 days off network is the total allotment of days you would get before you'd have to be back on Dark Star. But the teleporting, it definitely does work on the annual plan. I'm just unsure of the number of times that you can transfer, or if it changes based on if you got a promotion or not. And US Mobile's current promotion is A, really good, B, it's on all the networks. So I would hope that you would be able to transfer between the networks if you signed up. So unlimited premium, it's $24.90 a month for your first year. All networks eligible, see terms. So I would hope that, I mean, the card literally advertises free network transfers. So I would hope that you'd be able to transfer between the networks for this specific promotion in this deal. But there have been times, again, where sometimes it's only the Dark Star network that has the special pricing. And so in those scenarios, it makes a little bit more sense where US Mobile may restrict those network transfers. Word of caution, though, sometimes the network transfer can take a while. I know my friend Trevor had to do a network transfer. I think it took probably 24 hours. And so he was just without his phone number for 24 hours, which is a bit of a bummer. If you want coverage on multiple networks, I would definitely encourage you to consider that multi-network add-on. That way, instead of having to transfer your primary number between the different networks, you can just get a secondary eSIM on a second network and then toggle between the networks with the tap of a button. And I think that's a way better approach for getting coverage in places you wouldn't and getting that secondary network. So I hope that's helpful. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions too. OB0125. My AT&T line on 5G SA isn't showing my notifications. My phone is asleep, and then I turn it on, and I get flooded with my missing notifications. Do you know anything about this? I temporarily fixed it by turning off standalone. That is interesting. I guess the first question is, if you're on 5G standalone, like, is it a coincidence or causation related to 5G standalone? My assumption would be it's more of a coincidence than anything. And so first I would check to make sure that data is working on 5G standalone, like maybe run a speed test. We have that now, our open source speed test for Coverage Map, and we actually have a free site for it. So Coverage Map. I'm gonna do, here we go, speed test, bam. You can just run your speeds. This will lag the stream, but we'll do it anyway. You can hit start test, download will be fine. It'll be when upload happens. Anyway, you can measure your internet speed. So consider doing this or download the free Coverage Map app and just check, make sure everything's working. This is the part that'll probably lag the stream quite a little bit. We'll wait for it to finish here. Hopefully it's not too bad for you guys. Bam. Anyway, run a test, make sure your data is working. If it is working, then my second guess would be, is it a notification setting preference? Is it related to do not disturb or another iPhone setting where notifications are simply being silenced for some reason. That would be another thing to check. Maybe, yeah, focus mode, or I think you can get, like at 5 p.m., you can get like notification summaries or something. So consider checking that. Otherwise, I mean, it sounds like turning off SA might just be the move. So OB, I hope that's helpful. That's all I've got. Usually when I run into issues like this, I just like poke around and try things until something works. So wish I had a specific answer for you, but haven't tested that personally. Oh, interesting. Brad is saying, mine did that today. Not sure why. I'm on public beta, iOS 27. I'm also on the iOS 27 public beta, and that can, sometimes bugs can happen. So that could be a factor as well. We got Job saying, my T-Mobile outage started Thursday last week. Wait, what? I'm in Sacramento, California. That's insane. You've been without service for a full week? Well, I guess Thursday. That's like what? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days almost. Wow. That might be different. I hope it's different. I think if I had lost service for 5 days, I would consider switching at that point. That's insane. What's your opinion on the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra? I'm an iPhone user. I think if you are looking for a folding phone, the Z Fold set, well, oh man, this is like a great question. So, Samsung. The Z Fold 8 Ultra is one of the best folding phones on the market, specifically here in the US in terms of its band compatibility and cellular performance. Other manufacturers do make folding phones, but sometimes they're not really sold here in the US, and so the carrier compatibility can be not as good as we get. So Samsung is definitely phenomenal. Taking a look here, they have the Z Fold 8 Ultra. This is the sort of square aspect ratio is what I describe it, the book format, if you will. It's where you have the classic candy bar on the front, and then it unfolds and you get that big, beautiful, I think it's almost a perfect square display on the inside, which is basically like having two phones side by side, which is like low-key super cool. Sending a text message to a friend, you can check your calendar. You're doing email, you can check your calendar. Great for multitasking, especially considering pretty much all apps are designed to work in that vertical form factor. So super easy to have two of them side by side. What's interesting to me and what I would advocate for is the price, okay? $2,100. On one hand, in a sense, you kind of are buying two phones that are attached to each other. On the other hand, this is $2,100 for a phone. It just makes phone calls. Like, it's not doing anything crazy. You could argue it's kind of like getting a tablet and a phone in one. So instead of spending $500 on a tablet and $1,200 on a S26 Ultra or whatever, you could get this. Maybe. Okay, maybe. But here's the thing that I would really encourage you to do, and it's to consider getting a refurbished Galaxy Z Fold 8 or a gently used Galaxy Z Fold 8. And why would I suggest this? Well, if you go to Back Market, all right, channel sponsor Back Market. They're not sponsoring this, but I've worked with them in the past. If we do Z Fold 7, okay, fantastic device. Watch the reviews on this product. It is one of the best folding phones to come out. Measurable upgrades over the Z Fold 6. And what do you know? You can get the Z Fold 7 unlocked starting at $1,287 before any trade-in whatsoever, okay? Now, that is fair condition. If you want to bump up to good, that's going to be $1,300. If you want to bump up to excellent, $1,400, okay? Still, that is $700 in savings for a phone that is 99% the same, okay? 99% the same. It gets better though, all right? We have non-channel sponsor Swappa, okay? It'd be nice. Anyway, Swappa, if you go Z Fold 7 here, this is where, so I guess like what's the difference? Back Market, Swappa. Back Market, this is certified refurbished. That means it's being tested. Everything's being tested. The battery health, the screen, all of the chargers, the cables, everything is being tested. It's certified to work. free 30-day returns, a 1-year warranty. That's on all phones you buy from Back Market. And they're able to offer this because they are doing the certified refurbishment of these devices. When you go on Swappa, it is kind of a mixed bag. You'll have some individual sellers, some sort of phone shops selling devices. So you'll get phones with no warranty that you can't return, and some that have warranties that you can return. Like let's take this. We've got Christopher O in Richmond, Texas here. Looks like he's selling his Z Fold 7 and $835. Like, guys, just wait a minute. This is like $500 cheaper than Back Market, okay? And that's, gosh, what is that? $2,100. That's $1,000, $1,200. That's like $1,200, maybe even $1,300 cheaper than buying from Samsung Direct. This is cheaper than getting a new Galaxy S26 Ultra, okay? Phenomenal price. But it's being sold by Christopher O in Richmond, Texas. He's just some random dude, and his phone is in mint condition, unlocked for all carriers, but requires a Boost Mobile SIM as the first SIM. Wait a minute. What? What? I'm sorry, what? Unlocked to all carriers, but requires a Boost Mobile SIM as the first SIM? That is so sus. All right, don't buy this. Christopher, I don't know what's going on there, but that's crazy. But either way, he took pictures of the device, and this is what you'd be buying. Let's get out of here. That's a red flag, actually. And he's got some cases, and this can be a nice value add. Dude, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Only 6 cases for the Z Fold 7? Bro, you should have gotten 7 cases. Let's go back one. All right, let's see if we got anyone else. We've got sports. View listing. Wait, is this T-Mobile only? T-Mobile. We don't want that. We need unlocked. Unlocked. All right. Boom. All right, Christopher. Joe R. He's, all right, Kirkland, Washington. 8 5-star ratings. That's what we want to see. View listing. Still massive savings, like $1,300, I think. And Z Fold 7 works perfectly. Had paint chips on the front screen bezel, but front screen and main screen are in perfect shape. A case will cover up the bezels. Galaxy Buds 2 never been used. Dude's thrown in a lot of bonuses. And yeah, I mean, you see the condition of the phone. We got some light paint chips here. Otherwise, seems in pretty good condition. Honestly, it looks pretty fun. Like, guys, this is cheaper than the iPhone, about $915, right? So this is really what I'd encourage you to do. The downside here is basically returns and refunds. Items received not as described shall be returned to the seller for prompt refund. Otherwise, you're kind of like SOL. Like you're buying the device. These are the photos of the actual device. You can see that. He's not trying to hide anything. You can see the scuffs and scratches. If you're okay with that, you buy it. You're getting a screaming deal on this phone. Back market, this is where you're paying a little bit extra, but you're getting that 30-day returns and 1-year warranty. Now, you can find that on Swappa. Let's go back here. This might be a little bit harder, but we've got to look for... So Apple MD LLC, yeah, with 519 ratings, this is probably a guy who's doing more of a shop. So trusted seller, designated, trusted by Swappa staff, free shipping, returns and refunds. So this seller has a refund policy. If you experience any issues with your order, please reach out to us. We will respond as soon as possible. We accept returns. It must be within our 7-day window and will be subject to a 15% restocking fee. So you can see there's a lot of variance between sellers on Swappa in terms of what their refund policy is, how much you have to pay, is there a restocking fee, how many days is it, and that sort of stuff. But the pricing it's pretty compelling. I'm thinking about it right now. I'm not gonna lie. This is dangerous. We got to get off this topic. King Carol, hopefully that's helpful. So yeah, you could buy the Z Fold 8 Ultra. It's going to be a phenomenal phone, but I would really, really encourage you to take a look at some of the refurbished or gently used options, because you will, no joke, save thousands of dollars. easily at least $1,000, and get a phone that is 97% the same, in my opinion. All right, looks like we're looking at some geez, what do we got? One of those cases is pricey. A lot of them are probably pricey. Tommy, you're going to talk about the link you sent me this week, the one about the improved data transfers from iPhone and Android. Yeah, Tommy, we can pull that up. That's a good one. That's a good one. Richmond, Texas is near me. There you go. Maybe do a pickup, a little in-person pickup. That would be weird. That'd be like if eBay did in-person pickups. Like, you know what? I'm on eBay, so I don't need to deal with people, you know? That's like Facebook Marketplace right there. Nick is saying never buy folds refurbished. Credit cards won't honor warranty. Samsung will not honor warranty. New ones come with a free replacement screen during warranty period, so you'll be out of luck on refurb. Yeah, that's kind of like, Nick, you're right. You're right. You could probably get, pay to get it replaced. At the same time, you can literally buy 2 Z Fold 7s. Guys, think about this. You can buy 2 Z Fold 7s for under the cost of 1 Z Fold 8 Ultra. So even if you buy a Z Fold 7, you use it, and something happens, you can buy another one, and it's still net cheaper than buying the new Z Fold 8 Ultra. That's my hot take. Plus, sometimes you can find insurance companies that will take it. I actually don't know if this company will take it, but what is it called? It is called, geez, all right, we're just going to Google phone insurance and hope it comes up. Shurion, no. Assurance, wow, Allstate, Geico. Man. ACO, that's what it's called. You can check out device insurance that powers your customers. You can see if these guys will cover it. I think they've got a reasonable plan, reasonable product, and so this could be something to look at. But again, sometimes you just got to take the risk, and it's not the end of the world, in my opinion. So there's my food for thought there. Somebody Clips that's been saying that for when the iPhone Fold comes out and is more expensive. Yeah. I'm really tempted by the new Fold 8 base, and I can't get it, and I can get it for free from T-Mobile. Man, I would love to talk about that too. The Z Fold 8, this guy right here, this is the Passport style. So I would describe this as book, Z Fold 8 Ultra book. You hear me? You get a square thing that looks like a book. Z Fold 8, this is your Passport. It is squat and wide, and it looks so cool, and I'm so tempted to get it. And I'm not going to get it yet because I can't buy this one refurbished or gently used in any capacity, but it will lose value. When does it ship? Looks like it's pre-order. Pre-order, offer ends in 10 days. Okay. Do we have a shipping date? Delivers, in-store pickup. Wow. Is there no date? I feel like I'm going blind looking at this website. Anyway, I'm very tempted to get it. I'm going to stay strong. All right, Tommy, let's pull up what I messaged you. Oops. Boom. It's actually pretty good news. Pretty good news for I guess this specific topic. Funny enough. So what I'd seen online and messaged to Tommy is this Reddit post right here. Right here. Switching from iOS is now even easier with the upgraded Android switch. So it looks like Google, Apple, maybe the EU's getting in there. They have been forced to make it easier to migrate your data from an iPhone to an Android phone. I should potentially test this. Factory reset my Pixel 10 Pro, and then I could transfer everything over and see what copies. But it looks like some massive improvement. So we have the classic wireless, classic wired, and then the upgraded wireless or wired. So it looks like the method no longer matters. You're getting the best migration experience possible. Looks like classic wireless was just calendar, contacts, local photos, and videos. So this would potentially exclude any photos stored in, say, iCloud Drive, right, that were not downloaded on the device. And maybe you would get the low-res versions, but that would be awful. Missing tons of stuff like alarms, device settings, free apps, home screen layout. Actually, my home screen layout transferred pretty quickly the last and more accurately when I did it. Although I did do it wired. And it's worth mentioning that wired does appear to transfer all of those. So that's interesting. But yeah, big upgrades. I mean, you're getting all of this stuff. Encrypted RCS is getting transferred. All files and folders, calendar attachments, call histories, your Google accounts, eSIM. That's low-key huge. Because I'm curious if this is restricted to just like the big carriers where eSIM gets transferred, or if it'll work on the MVNOs as well. Because that's been a pain point for some individuals, mostly me, where eSIM transfers are actually really fast and really nice iPhone to iPhone. But you have to have AT&T, T-Mobile, or Verizon. All the prepaid carriers, you got to go to the app, you got to tap transfer, you got to download a new eSIM profile. It's not as smooth as what the postpaid carriers were able to build. You're getting notes attachments, notes labels, offloaded message attach. Like, this is insane. One-time passwords, passkeys, passwords, third-party app data channel, Wi-Fi credentials, and photo albums coming soon. The new Android Switch experience is available in Android 17 and has already started rolling out to the Pixel 8 and newer. It will be available via Samsung Smart Switch on the new Z Flip 8 and Z Fold 8 series devices and will come to more Android devices soon. So this actually dovetails perfectly into that discussion on the Z Fold 8 and 8 Ultra, because now it's easier than ever to switch, and more stuff than ever before will copy. Wow, the temptation is real. I think I'm at the point where, transparently, I will not put my friends through the drama of losing iMessage again. So I would not transfer my personal number, which is a bummer. But I think I could probably get all the other stuff I use, Slack, Discord, switch to Todoist for tasks and getting things done. Of course, email will work perfectly. Calendar probably works perfectly. So wouldn't necessarily be too hard to daily drive-esque an Android device. Possibly just make it a dedicated work phone, throw a secondary number on there and see what's up. I feel like something else that comes to my mind is I've seen a lot of Casey Neistat's videos, and I think the guy has like 2 phone numbers, and he'll message, or he'll show clips of him like messaging his wife Candace, and I think his contact profile just has like 2 different phone numbers, and it's like kind of a guess which one's which. So I'm debating doing that as well, like 2 phone, like, hey guys, not to be weird, but I have 2 phone numbers now. So just add both of these and you'll be able to reach me, maybe. I probably wouldn't do that, but there we go. Somebody clipped that saying, what? All right. I'm curious what that clip will be. Ooh, refurbished on eBay includes a 1-year warranty. Should we check that out? Wait, let's I was going to do eBay, but let's do eBay. Oh no, I have this tab selected. Last time I did that, I left the live stream. eBay Z Fold 7 refurbished. All right, perfect. What we got? What do we got? Jeez. Fully functional, $965. Let's see if we got anything with a warranty on here. Warranty. Oh, here we go. This one has a 1-year warranty. This one may not have the 1-year warranty. Let's click on this one. Still $1,100 with, all right, let's double check. Got you covered, 1-year warranty included. Other people bought this. One has already sold. That's really funny. This is probably the best price to performance ratio out there. I mean, debatably, you could potentially get one on Swappa and then maybe pair it with another insurance from like ACO or something. But it's also possible they won't cover it just due to the nature of the device. And so getting a 1-year warranty could be pretty cool. But yeah, this form factor is tempting. It looks mighty nifty. Mighty nifty. Has Stetson talked about the Mint Mobile deal yet? I think so. I mean, I've talked about the plan deal, but are they doing something different? Let's buy a new phone. Galaxy S26 on us. I mean, that's phenomenal. Jeez. Mint just cooks too hard sometimes. I'd borderline make a video on that. I mean, that's a phenomenal value. Is that with a trade-in? New customers save 500 instantly, get another 400 plus off with eligible trade-in. Yeah, that's with the trade-in. So a little bit less good, but with the 60-day unlock policy and Mint's pricing, I mean, it's just like mind-blowing how good it is. Oh, Nick clocked that. That's an AT&T SKU locked to AT&T. All right. More. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Sorry. In the title. Z Fold 7. AT&T only, everybody. AT&T only. But it is eBay refurbished. So I'm sure if you can find one that's unlocked, that would probably be, here we go. Here's unlocked, pre-owned, top rated plus. Let's see if this one has a warranty. Negative. Refurbished. Is this also going to be AT&T? Yeah, this is AT&T only. All right, so mileage may vary. Some good shopping might need to be, some thorough shopping might need to be done. But the deals are out there, you guys. Like, it's so good. It's only a 1-year-old device. I mean, come on. Meanwhile, a refurbished 17 Pro is like only a couple $100 off. Crazy. Oh my God. Z Flip 6 under $400. That is wild. Dominic, I missed your message on the Ting mobile hotspot. Definitely let me know what it was. S.G. Sorry. Hi, Stetson. I did not know there was live today. Good to see you here. Great to see you here. Yeah, every Monday I try and go live. Is it every Monday? Is it perfect? No, but we try our best. Pixel 10 with 1 year of service for $329. Stop. Mint is too good sometimes, you guys. Mint is too good. All right, Mint phones. All right, Galaxy S26 is what they're promoting, but what you guys are promoting are the Google phones. Holy smokes. Oh my God. Well, this is because the Pixel 11 comes out next month, and they're trying to clear out inventory of everything. So that's why this is a screaming deal. And yeah, that's phenomenal. All right, sorry, getting a call right now. John, I'm sorry. I'm doing a live stream. Can't chat right now because I'm live. Yeah, this is too good to be true. I mean, it's not too good to be true, but it's really good. Paired that with unlimited. Oh my God, $329. And it unlocks after 60 days. Do I buy one? Do I buy 3? Like, just for the phone itself. What do we... Oh, wait, hang on. Before I keep saying this is phenomenal. Wait, that's actually crazy. $800 crossed out, $149. Google's just trying to dole these out like Halloween candy. Jeez. Before I say it's too phenomenal, let's go ahead. We got to check, sorry, the other B website, back market. Pixel 10. What do we got? Refurbished Pixel 10, $527. $495 actually. Hang on. That's fair. Maybe $546. Excellent. So to get one brand new for $150, yeah, that's a pretty screaming deal. Let's check out Swappa. All right, we don't discriminate here. Let's do Pixel 10. Not sure who would be selling this. But yeah, $380. Jeez. Locked to consumer cellular. Fair condition unlocked, $429. Wow. Look, that's totally dinged up. A new in-box Pixel 10, $150 with a year of unlimited data for $329. Boom. Photonic Cody, that is an amazing deal. You're absolutely right. No. My sister and mom have been having Wi-Fi slash Bluetooth issues on the Pixel 10 for what it's worth. I am so sorry to hear that. Maybe this actually is a $150 phone. Man. Big the foot. Pixel 10 isn't even that great of a phone. I'd rather have a Samsung. I actually kind of hate to say it, but I'm kind of in the same boat. I actually kind of prefer Samsung's. Man, is this crazy? I think I prefer Samsung's software and user experience and their hardware. That feels wild to say, but I think it's the truth. I think it's the truth. Yeah, it'll unlock in 60 days. Check it. Mint Mobile unlock policy. This is the AI overview, but I've checked it before. Yeah, Mint Mobile phones will automatically be unlocked 60 days after activation on our network. That's it. Super easy. Johnny, I've had a horrible experience with Pixels. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, it has none of the carrier bloat either. That's true. It's so good. Stetson, have you heard anything about T-Mobile removing free lines after migration to the new plan? We did talk about this briefly earlier in the live stream. Just to touch on it again, T-Mobile's migrating legacy customers over to new plans. I have heard that some of the free lines are not free anymore. And I think there's two approaches to this. One is the lines are not free, but they're like $6 or something. And another one is I think some of the lines are just straight up not free and they're like $26 or whatever, whatever the cost per line would be. So that's a big bummer. Yeah. And I mean, use them or lose them, right? If someone in your family was using it or if you weren't using it and you were just collecting them, you either got to start using it or you got to cancel that or you got to pour it out. That's really what it is. Can you do a speed test on Ting hotspot? I currently do not have an active Ting line, so I'm not able to do that right now. A year of unlimited service and a Pixel, including taxes, cost me $360. Yeah, that's really good. I'd want to do a Z Flip or Motorola Razr if I went Android. I like the flip phone style so much better. Man, I don't think I would do a vertical flip. I think, like, I like the candy bar a lot. It's just functionally excellent. Boom, like you turn the phone on, everything you need is right there. Camera's on the back. The Z Flip can give you some nifty features, but I'd rather have the Fold. I'd rather do Book or Passport. I'm dreaming of the Passport right now. For some reason, I just am like enthralled with that aspect ratio. Where's the Samsung website? Do you guys even see that up here? Or is it gone? Here it is. It's this blue S. Yeah, I think this just looks so nice. I really want to test it out. It could also be awful, right? Like, all of our apps, are our apps designed for this screen? No. They're designed for the tall boy, right? They're designed for the outside screen. They're designed for this. And so it could be argued that getting this form factor, the book style, is better because you get the two side-by-side apps that fit perfectly side by side. It could potentially be a better experience, but I just don't know. Ooh, Kyle Crow, for me, it's just the retro old school nature of the flip phones. Hey, that's fair. That's fair. And do you guys remember like being able to close your phone to hang up a call? That always felt so badass to me. I don't know what it was. Ivory is saying, I jumped on a similar deal from Mint 3 months ago. On day 60, they sent me a message and my phone automatically unlocked. So nice to hear that. Foldable phone plus parent of 2 small children does not mix. That does sound like a little bit of oil and water, if I do say so myself. Yeah, I mean, those kids with those like small, grubby, grimy hands that like touch everything and don't even know how strong they are. And yeah, hey, you get a brick, a little bit harder to break the brick, especially if you throw a protective case on there. Ooh, we got to give Google Fi the shout out. 75% off until August 3rd. This is true. I can't even remember. I I know the last time Max had the link for that. I don't have the link for that. Follow Max on Twitter, and he has the link to that deal. US Mobile is a thing now. You can use all 3 networks at any time. That is, I feel, a little misleading. It's a little misleading. So what's the deal with US Mobile? Do they have 3 networks? Yes, absolutely. If you go to US Mobile and you go to their networks tab, what's better than 1 network? Access to 3. That's facts. Okay, that's facts. They advertise switching, and it's a little bit more nuanced. US Mobile has 3 networks. Okay, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. Warp is Verizon. Darkstar is AT&T. Lightspeed is T-Mobile. Okay, so they got all 3. You pick what network you want when you sign up. So if you go to sign up for one of US Mobile's plans, you can see they're offering a promo right now. The deals are insane. Unlimited premium is wild. Starter is phenomenal. And Flex, actually don't get Flex. Get Starter because Starter is cheaper than Flex. Anyway, the deals are great and all networks are eligible. That means when you sign up, you can choose if you want to activate unlimited starter on AT&T, T-Mobile, or Verizon. You'll notice that the premium plan includes free network transfers and unlimited starter offers $2 per network transfer. What this means is at any point you can be like, hey, you know what? I signed up on AT&T. I ended up moving, and in the new city I'm in, Verizon is better. So I want to switch to Verizon. Well, you can either pay the $2 or for free on the premium plan, you can go ahead and effectively port your number to the Verizon network. This is considered an internal port where you're transferring your number from the AT&T network to the Verizon network. Now, your plan features will differ a little bit and they will change. US Mobile's website, it's so complicated. Where did that tab go? We're starting to get a lot of tabs open here. It's so complicated. They have a massive spreadsheet to compare the different features between the different plans. To give you one concrete example here, unlimited starter, all right? Probably the best value plan on the US Mobile network or on US Mobile right now. If you're on Darkstar, unlimited high-speed data, 20 gigs of hotspot. If you sign up on Warp, the Verizon network, well, all of a sudden that's 70 gigs of high-speed data and 10 gigs of hotspot, half the hotspot. So your service changes or can change pretty significantly if you switch networks. So something to be mindful of. Anyway, and you can see, you can either check out that spreadsheet, or if you go to bestphoneplans.net plans and do US Mobile, all right, I outline all the details here so you can see like unlimited premium. I have unlimited, here's a better example, unlimited premium Warp, and then I have unlimited premium Lightspeed. And you can compare side by side, like, oh, Lightspeed gives you 4K streaming. Warp gives you 720p streaming. You can look at the international data, like, oh, we get 20 gigs in 125 countries. Oh, you get 20 gigs in 197 countries. So these cards highlight the difference between the different plans and the network. So like Lightspeed, T-Mobile, Warp, Verizon, okay? Anyway, back to the question at hand. So you cannot use the 3 networks at the same time. You can, I guess, technically use them at any time. You just need to switch, and you have to go through the hassle and the process of switching networks. You can do the multi-network add-on, and this is what I encourage more people to do, not because you're spending more money. Obviously, that's, you know, not necessarily ideal, but because the way it works is so much better. Instead of having to transfer your phone number, your primary line, from one network to another, with the multi-network add-on, you get a second eSIM on a second network. So you can have Verizon and T-Mobile on your phone at the same time, and you just tap a button to toggle between them. Or you go into your settings, you're like, hey, you know what? My data's slow. Let me try the other network. Boom, you switch over, and hopefully you'll get faster speeds. So this is what I would consider and suggest people do. This is what I would do. And you can add this add-on multiple times. So you can get, I believe, all 3 networks. You can't have them all active at the same time because only 2 eSIMs can be active at the same time. But it's a really good way to get basically some of the most flexible coverage across the United States. So I hope that's helpful and kind of clarifies it. All right, we have a super chat coming in from Jordan. Jordan, thank you so much for your generosity and support. Does anyone do build your own plans like Tello or Mobile X on AT&T? Planning on porting from Darkstar to Mint once I get my Pixel, but I run dual SIM. That is a fantastic question. I think the answer right now is no. I'm just trying to think. At least not that I have on the best phone plan site. I mean, this is the best way to get information. And if we clear out US Mobile and we just say, hey, coverage on AT&T, what are the options? And we've got a bunch of sponsored. Actually, you know what? It's funny. US Mobile is probably the closest thing to it. It's not necessarily the best value. So let me give you two options. The second option is going to be a way better value. So the first option is US Mobile's by the gig plan. So if you go to plans, I mean, the unlimited starter for $16.60 a month is phenomenal. And borderline, I recommend you get that. It's just unlimited AT&T data. Like, it's so good. It's outrageously good. Anyway, if you did want more of a pay per gig situation, sign up for the buy the gig plan. These are available on all three networks. You can do the 2 gig plan for $10. Anytime you need more data, boom, it's just $2 a gig, and you can buy that anytime. And then unused top-ups roll over, which is super nice. So this would give you the flexibility to kind of buy some low usage and then have that roll over, use it for your next month, that kind of thing. So this is probably the closest thing to it. The better deal, I think, is actually, we can go back here. It's actually going to be from Red Pocket. Red Pocket has some phenomenal options on AT&T, and it's priority data, which is really good. So the Essentials plan might be worth looking at. $10 plus tax for 3 gigs. And I think we added a new feature. Yeah, taxes and fees. Bam. $13.60 a month for 3 gigs. Phenomenal value. This is priority data on AT&T. Excellent option to consider. The plus option, $23.85 a month, 20 gigs of priority data. This is QCI 8 priority, which is insane. And 4K video streaming, another phenomenal option. And then the premium plan, more expensive, $34.10, but you're getting 50 gigs high speed before unlimited data, 150 megabits per second, 4K streaming, unlimited priority, and 10 gigs of hotspot. Those are definitely some options to consider. US Mobile, probably the closest thing to it, but I mean, you add a couple of gigs to that and you're at like, what, $14 a month? And it's like, well, you know, should I do that or should I do the Red Pocket plan? Actually, wait, hang on. $13.60 for 3 gigs. If you did this, it would be $14 for 4 gigs or $12 for 3 gigs. So maybe it's not bad. Anyway, that's what I would say, Jordan. I think that's probably it. I hope that's helpful. Phantom Light. Stetson, I have a new iPhone. It's an 11 Pro Max. Should I get visible? $25. Is the process easy? And can I get a new number? Phantom Light, that is a fantastic question. Yeah, the process is very easy. I have activation guides on my YouTube channel. I think if you type in like visible activation guide, let me just try that. Hang on. Let's see what we got. Hopefully I show up. All right. We're on YouTube. And let's just say visible activation guide. Let's see what shows up. Please be me. Ha! Look at that. It's me. Well, it's me 3 times. We've got visible activation guide, how to port your number, visible eSIM activation guide and number port 2024, and visible eSIM activation guide. Wow. Wow, it just makes me happy. Anyway, the eSIM one is probably the most accurate because it's from a year ago, and it'll walk you through all the steps, and including how to port your number or get a new one if you so chose. It's really quite straightforward, and it is an easy process. The one thing, not to make things complicated, but the one thing you might consider is there's another $25 plan out there that is an even better value. People, if you've watched the stream before, you know exactly where this is going. Let's go back to best plans. Let's reset this, and we'll pull up Visible Base, which is, it's a great plan for $25. And if you need a new number, actually, no, I take it back. You don't want to get Visible Base. You want to get the Total Max 5G plan, right? Total Max, bring your own device. So Phantom Light, you have your own device. Oh, we have it in the comparison. Let's just remove that. Go to comparison. Boom. You have your own device, because Total Max 5G is just bring your own device. I don't think you need to bring a number. If you do, then I apologize, but I think you can get a new number. Anyway, you bring your device to Total Wireless, and you can get unlimited data for $25 a month. And it's a better plan than Visible. So you're getting unlimited priority data as opposed to deprioritized. You're getting the same unlimited hotspot at 5 megabits per second. Better video streaming quality. Video streaming gets upgraded to 720p. You cannot add a watch line. So if you ever are thinking about getting a watch, you're going to want to go with Visible. Can't do that on Total. But you can add a tablet line, and that's pretty cool in my opinion. International data is also way better on Total Wireless. Texting and calling is included for free, and you get 300 minutes, unlimited texts, and 10 gigs in Canada and Mexico, and 300 minutes, unlimited texts, and 10 gigs in 140 countries. Total is definitely better. Let's just actually, hang on. Let's see what we got here. The $25 plan is at the bottom. This is, I'm glad we checked this. I was wrong. You have to bring your phone and number. So Phantom Light, if you want to keep things easy, 100% go with Visible. It's still a phenomenal plan. If you wanted to really maximize your phone plan, what I suggest you do is you can grab a plan from Tello. Let's do something like, I don't know, the 10 gig. Oh, this is like too good. The 10 gig plan with unlimited minutes is $10 a month for your first 3 months. So, and it expires in like 4 days. Oh gosh. Anyway, grab this, and even if it's not $10, it'll be $15, which is super cheap. You'll get a new number and service that you can use. If you are like, I only want to use this for a couple days, well, the 2 gig plan is the same price. So I would just do the 10 gig plan. Sign up for this, get a new number. You'll have a number. Then you can bring that over to Total Wireless, and you can get the best plan in the world, basically. In the US, at least, the best value plan for $25. So that's what I suggest you do, and I hope that's helpful. All right, call me Nino. Thank you so much for your generosity and support. Can we discuss Apple's new leasing program, and where does the Apple Card stand in all this? That is fantastic. Let me learn about this in real time right now. They are launching it tomorrow. Interesting. Oh gosh. Here's the scoop. This comes from Mark Gurman. I don't have access to the article. Maybe I should cave and buy access to Bloomberg. If you guys know how to get access to Bloomberg at the best price possible, let me know. But we do have our friendly AI summary that is no doubt stealing the information from Bloomberg or somewhere else. All right. Apple is launching its, we're going to have more details tomorrow. So next Monday, we can go into this in full, really dissect the offering. All right. New leasing program allegedly coming out tomorrow. Hopefully it's true. That'd be cool to see. Backed by Klarna. This service replaces new enrollments in the old iPhone upgrade program and shifts standard in-house financing to a lease-based model for iPhones, iPads, Macs, and Apple Watches. So first of all, it sounds like this is structurally different, right? So what was the old iPhone upgrade program? The iPhone upgrade program, which we still have. Wait, let's get it. iPhone upgrade program. This is where you could upgrade your iPhone every year, starting at $42, $41 a month. And the way this worked, quite simply, is I don't think there's any good graphics that show this. No, I'll just explain it. The way this worked, quite simply, we'll go to this graphic here, is you took the full cost of the iPhone, you divided it into 24 months, and that is what your payment was. You could choose to pay it for the full 24 months, and then the phone would be yours to own. You would own the phone, no more payments, done and dusted. However, if you wanted to, you could go ahead and trade in your iPhone after 1 year, 12 months, and upgrade to the next iPhone. In this case, you would trade in your device. The remaining balance owed on the device would be waived, and then the financing payments would be reset with the new device. So big picture, this effectively means you could have gotten, let's say you would just pay $61.16 to get the new Pro Max model iPhone every year. So $61.16 per month, and you'd always have the latest and greatest Pro Max model iPhone. If you wanted more storage, $69.50 a month. 2 terabytes, $94.50 a month, okay? That's effectively what it did. And if you ever wanted to stop, you would just pay it off and then you would own the device. Leasing, and you actually might be wondering, one more thing about this. How did Apple make money if you were just paying the normal price of the phone? Well, you weren't. You were actually paying for, and it's up here, the full cost of the iPhone plus Apple Care Plus with theft and loss is spread out over 24 months. Okay. So Apple was making margin on this by forcing you to buy Apple Care Plus with theft and loss protection. That is a reasonably expensive add-on, I think in the realm of like $15 to $18, maybe even $20 a month. Hang on, let's stop making numbers up. Apple Care Plus. Apple Care, boom. I want to get the pricing. Do I have to click get coverage? All right, we have iPhone pricing. So, all right, Apple Care Plus with theft and loss, we have to do all models. So you notice this, from $9.99 a month or $99 a year. They were doing the monthly option in the Apple iPhone upgrade program. If we do all model pricing, you can see the Pro Max, $14 a month. All right, I was making up the $20 price, so forgive me for that. Well, maybe not, because Apple Care One is $20. Either way, you had to buy this for $14 a month. So that was an extra cost, $14 a month times 12 months, $168 a month. Odds are you would never need that, and so Apple is just making that $168 a month or a year on you, and that was their margin on that product. In addition to the fact that you would trade in your device, presumably in mint condition, that Apple that could then resell again as a refurbished model, right? So Apple has a refurbished store. This will actually come into play with the new lease program. You go to iPhone, and bam, you can buy, look, iPhone 16 Plus or iPhone 16 refurbished, $700. So not only did they make money, like, this is just genius, okay? Apple sold a phone. Someone paid for 50% of the device and paid the Apple Care for that, so the markup margin. Apple got the device back, likely in excellent condition, and then is able to resell it for only $130 less than the original markup value a year later. That is just insane. Like, the economics of that are wild. Anyway, so that was the old system. Did I recommend it? No. Okay, it is far cheaper to just buy the iPhone or finance it with Apple Card and not be forced to get in that Apple Care Plus option, okay? You could buy it if you wanted to, but cheaper to just buy the device and not do that for the insurance or get insurance elsewhere. What's different with the lease? Well, when you lease a car, at the end of the lease program, do you own the car? No. Okay? You have the option to buy out the car, but you do not own the car. And so that's a fundamentally different model than the upgrade program, where you would own the phone after the 24-month period. So with this, it looks like we've got 24-month terms for iPhones and Apple Watches, 36-month terms for Macs and iPads. End of term options. Here we go. It looks like you can either return the device, or you can keep it paid off, or continue paying to upgrade to a newer model. So that's crazy. So your options at the end of 24 months, if you just did the lease, you would pay monthly. I don't know, maybe it's not $61. Maybe it's like, we'll do maybe it's like $50, okay? Maybe it's $50 for a Pro Max or whatever, okay? For 2 years. At the end of that, you do not own the phone. You would have to give it back. And if you're like, I don't want to give it back, well, then you can choose to pay it off. But how much does it cost? And again, this is fundamentally different. Before, you would the phone would be paid off at the end of 24 months. But now, with the new system, it is not going to be paid off. And so there's room for extra margin there where Apple can charge you, you might end up paying 120% the value of the phone, okay? or you can continue paying to upgrade to a newer model. And this basically sounds like the same mechanic where you're effectively perpetually paying a monthly price, and that's the price to have the newest iPhone. The difference here is it shifts that upgrade cycle from 24 months, okay? And you can upgrade once you've made the equivalent of 12 monthly payments. That shifts it to 24 months. If you have to wait for the term to be over, that is going to shift that upgrade cycle to every 2 years. Now, maybe it's possible you can pay a little extra to upgrade early. We don't know yet. We will have more information tomorrow, I presume. Requirements: a soft credit check via Klarna before enrollment. That sounds typical. Key restrictions: no automatic ownership. Unlike the older 0% installment plans, users do not automatically own the hardware at the end of the term unless they pay a remaining balance or fee. So there's going to be some buyout that we don't know what it is that's likely going to make Apple more money and will separate you from the money in your pocket, which is a bummer. Apple Care excluded. Apple Care coverage is reportedly dropped from the default bundle. Mixed feelings on that. On the one hand, that likely saves you, the consumer, from having to buy a service you may not have needed. On the other hand, having Apple Care bundled in generally makes the experience way better. And the reason it makes it better is if someone just like buys the iPhone and has an issue, they drop it, they break it, the screen cracks, that means they can go to Apple and get a replacement, and that's covered. And that experience is really, really nice. And we actually saw this with Xfinity Mobile. Okay, so Xfinity will save Google the money. We'll save Xfinity the money. We have to go to, why is their website so different? The plan, and then it's going to go to a whole new website. Here we are. All right. Xfinity Mobile Plus, they have bundled in Xfinity Mobile Care Plus. Device repairs and replacements included. This is a really nice perk that makes the experience of ownership significantly better should you ever run into any issues. And so that's why I have mixed feelings. I think probably largely a good thing, because that way you just choose if you want it or not. But sometimes, blindly giving that to people can really help in those one-off situations. Exclusions: entry-level products and MacBook News are ineligible alongside business and education purchases. So definitely interesting. Seems to be skewing towards the higher end models, which makes sense because the new phones are about to be crazy expensive. All right, what else we got cooking in the chat? Raccoon. Mr. Aaron Coon. That's what it says. It looks like raccoon from my eyes from this distance. What happened with T-Mobile today? It is down in the dumpster. We need a meme of everything on fire. And I'm not going to pull that up right now because we got another super chat coming in from Lift Your Spirit 2910. Thank you so much for your generosity and support. I appreciate you. Love the sunglasses in the profile picture, by the way. Planning on paying cash for a new iPhone. Would you buy an iPhone 17 or 18? What's the cheap route to buy an iPhone? What provider would you go with under $45? I live in Utah County. I travel internationally. Wow, this is a fantastic question. Here's the deal. If you're going to be buying a new iPhone for cash, you probably want to get the best price possible. And to do that, man, it depends what phone you want. Let's start there. The new iPhone is coming out sometime in September, the iPhone 18. Often, it is nice to get the newer phone because, at least for me, my ego gets a little bit of a boost. I get to flex on my friends that have the newest iPhone. Actually, where is this? Here we go. You get to flex on your friends that you have the newest iPhone. If that's important to you, that's cool. I like that. I think it's fun. I totally understand it. I am the Apple sheep. If you're looking to maximize your savings, the difference between the iPhone 18 and 17 is likely not going to be that big. In fact, if anything, there could be a price hike given the new RAM shortage and all the things that are going on in the world. So the difference is likely not going to be that big. iPhone 17 is a phenomenal phone. It is the best baseline iPhone Apple has ever released. And I know that's cliche, but it's the truth, right? Like, watch any review of the iPhone 17. And what people are talking about is the value you get for the price from an Apple device. It's the first iPhone, the first baseline iPhone with 120 hertz refresh rate display. It's got excellent cameras. It's got the center stage mode for that selfie camera, great battery life, camera control, the action button. I mean, the only things you get really from the Pro are the telephoto camera that unfortunately most people don't use, and a little bit better thermal performance and like some different video recording modes, but you don't need that. So the base iPhone is going to be excellent. The difference between the 17 and 18 is likely going to be minimal. So to get the best value, it may be in your best interest to actually consider used or refurbished. Let's look at pricing today. Here's the thing with pricing. So if you decide, hey, I actually want to get the iPhone 17, totally understand. A lot of people, like, pricing is all about supply and demand. A lot of people, when they're thinking about upgrading, even if it's not to the new iPhone, maybe it's, here we got one, one right here. This is an iPhone 16, okay? It is last year's model. If people are thinking about upgrading to even an older device, they want to wait for the new iPhone to come out because they think last year's model will drop in price. It turns out not necessarily true. And it's not true because, think about it, supply and demand. You have a built-up population of people waiting for the new phone so they can buy the old phone. When the new phone drops, demand for the old phone actually increases, and as a result, prices can increase as well. And so it might be actually cheaper to potentially buy one now or before the new iPhone comes out. Or if you wait 1 or 2 months afterwards, then prices will probably come back down because you can bet a lot of people are going to be trading in their old phones to get the new ones. Anyway, let's check pricing for you right now so you can see what the market looks like. And again, I don't know for sure. Maybe there's no bad time to upgrade. Maybe you do want to wait for the new phone to come out. But it could be worth getting at least some benchmarks right now. So iPhone 17 refurbished, unlocked, going for $776. And that's excellent. So this is actually a really good price. $829 new, not really a whole lot of savings. Transparently, I would probably buy new to get the warranty and stuff, but not that much savings here. If we go to our friends over at Swappa, let's plug that in, iPhone 17. Maybe it is better to wait. Yeah, I just did that whole rant about, oh, you may not need to wait because supply and demand. This is definitely a little bit better. Let's do unlocked. Make sure we're looking at that. All carriers, we want to do unlocked. And boom, we're looking at unlocked. Like, this is no savings at all. Well, we should have done this first. Lift your spirit. I think the answer here is simply to wait. All right, just wait. Wait for the new iPhone 18. See what happens. Best case scenario, the 18 is incredible, and you'd be spending $830 almost no matter what at this point. So wait and then grab that. And then, or you wait and the iPhone 17 drops in price and you can scoop that up at a great deal. So that's the phone part. I guess the answer for the phone part is to wait, and then you'll know. And then you just buy what you can afford. And the 18 might actually be the better buy. In terms of plan, I mean, the best plan on the market right now, let's actually do Utah County. So if we go to coverage map and we type in Utah County. All right, Utah County District. Here we go. Perfect. Let's compare these providers. Oh yeah, this is awesome. T-Mobile, fastest download speeds, 198. Verizon a close second, 192. AT&T third, 66.5. Upload performance, some of the fastest I've seen, 23.1. Then Verizon, 12.7. And then reliability, 8.7, 8.6. I think arguably T-Mobile and Verizon are the two best providers here. If you're really trying to save a lot of money, I think one of the best value plans right now is Mint Mobile's unlimited plan, right? It's an annual plan, $180 up front, but that's for a full year. Comes out to $15 a month. Hard to beat that for unlimited high-speed data on T-Mobile. likely going to be really good in your area. If you would prefer to pay monthly and you chose to get T-Mobile coverage, that's where, what are we looking at here? Let me zoom out a little bit. I'll reset this. Let's do T-Mobile coverage, data unlimited. If you wanted to pay monthly, that is where Metro by T-Mobile is the best value. I would do the $30 plan, unlimited high-speed data. It's deprioritized, 10 gigs of hotspot, 480p video streaming. It's a great value plan. If you wanted Verizon coverage, which again looks to be pretty excellent in your area based on our crowdsourced data, based on 3,800 tests that have been conducted in that area, I would suggest the number one best value plan right now, which is, everyone already knows it. Why do we even bother hyping this up? I'm just going to type it in. It's the Total Max 5G Bring Your Own Device plan. This is offered by Total Wireless, $25 a month, unlimited priority data on Verizon. That gives you the best network experience. Same priority as Verizon postpaid. Unlimited hotspot at 5 megabits per second, 720p video streaming. The watch isn't supported, so if you're hoping to use a cellular Apple Watch, that won't be working with this plan. You can add an unlimited tablet line for $10 though, and the international features are excellent. So if I were in your shoes, lift your spirits, I'd probably opt for this. My personal line happens to be on US Mobile right now, but I'm testing out Total Wireless, and it's worked super well. So that's what I would check. And I hope that's helpful. Jeez. Kevin just got the T-Mobile outage for the first time now in Boston, Massachusetts. This is funny. It feels like some sort of disease spreading. Like, oh my God, like it spread to Boston. Like, oh my gosh, it was in upstate New York. Where's it going now? Man, sorry you're being impacted. That's definitely frustrating. From the Reddit post that we were looking at, it did sound like, man, should we see if there's any new comments? It did sound like Wi-Fi calling was working, so that could be an option to consider. And yeah, I think that was it. Let's refresh this. What's the latest here? No T-Mobile signal on my iPhone in North Carolina. Went out in Central Virginia. Just got 4G back. Anaheim, California. Mine went out about an hour around 2 p.m. It came back relatively soon, but it's wild to see it's going on nationwide. No rhyme or reason. In Kansas, service is back up for me as of 30 minutes ago. I'm back online in San Diego. I got to get off T-Mobile. That was awful. East Central Minnesota appears to have service again. Been 45 minutes without any drops in connection, so hopefully that continues. Had issues here in Michigan, down in Long Beach, California. Mint Mobile in Nevada here. Been down 4 hours now. Wow, my connection was just restored about 5 minutes ago. So it seems like it's a total crapshoot out there. People are getting it. They're not getting it. I mean, it's wild. It's chaos. It's chaos. What's the best way that I can get a Galaxy S26 Ultra without having to get it through Metro, since they lock your phone for a year? Is back market to swap an affordable option for that phone? Well, the S26 Ultra is the new phone, so it's going to be more expensive on those platforms, and you would get measurably more savings by getting the S25 Ultra, which is what I personally would recommend, because I don't think there's that much of a difference between the S26 and the S25. That said, let's take a look here, because Samsung phones they just lose so much value so fast. It hurts my soul. All right, S26 Ultra. What does this normally retail for? Does anyone remember? $1,300. You can get it. Well, I'll be darned, for under $1,000. What condition is this though? Good condition. That actually seems totally reasonable. And funny enough, man, I should almost show you. I bought 4. This is so dumb. I bought 4 iPhone 16s off of Swappa. Okay? Why 4? Well, 1 in fair, 1 in good, 1 in excellent, and 1 in premium condition. And I will be making a video about the differences between these different qualities. But for now, good sounds good to me, and that price is actually pretty compelling. Let's check out Swappa. Let's see what we got cooking over here. If we're going to do an S26 Ultra. Wow. Is this really already like $500 off? Nuts. All right, we got to do unlocked though. There it is, unlocked. Refresh, $908. Yeah, I mean, why not? Decent. This is pretty decent savings. I'm not gonna lie. This is white, good condition. I mean, the white by nature is gonna hide a lot of impurities and imperfections. This is their like, I'm not gonna say they refurbish it, but they check all the devices. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Pretty substantial savings. I mean, if you go to Samsung.com though, they're also offering a deal on their phone. So Samsung Galaxy smartphones. And then we've got to do the S26 Ultra, which is here. And let's do buy now. They're offering a lot of instant trading credits. And you can see, oh, well, $908 versus $999. And that's with just an instant credit. Save $300. Looks like it's just $300 off. It's a good thing we checked. So Samsung is doing Samsung things. The phone is discounted for no particular reason. The savings then for either option, not really that substantial. Probably not worth it. I would probably buy new. And if you had a device to trade in, that could really help the situation. So that's what I would do 100%. That said, what if you wanted to get the S25 Ultra? Instead of $1,000, $682. Now, this is what we're talking about. And you can trade in through back market. Of course, that is the fair condition. So if we wanted good, bumps it to $691. If you wanted excellent, $741. Still actually decent savings. And you pair that with a trading device, that could be pretty cool. Looks like you're getting the standard battery, though. That's going to be 80% or higher. This is literally a 1-year-old phone, so I would be shocked if it was below like 90%, but, you know, could be worth keeping in mind. Let's check back market. Nope, that was back market. Let's check Swappa, excuse me. S25 Ultra. Whew. And let's do all carriers unlocked. 592, 642, fair condition, good condition, $700. That's reasonably similar to what back market was offering. So, I mean, the 25 to the 26, I genuinely think is little to no difference. So I would save the couple $100 and go with the S25 Ultra myself, but that's just me. Stetson, did you hear T-Mobile is going to be locking iPhones now even if you get it through Apple? Yes, I did hear that, but that is only if you choose to finance it through the T-Mobile financing option through Apple. If you finance it with Apple Card monthly financing, the device will be unlocked. Same with the iPhone payment system, but who knows what will happen to that once the new leasing option goes live. All right, Doxinator 14, let's say a hedgehog is considering getting a phone. What network would you recommend to it for 20101? Well, I mean, that's astonishing that hedgehogs are at this point where they're using phones and they need cellular capabilities and connectivity. But we got to give them the best option we can. So it might be a little big in the pause, but we're going to get it. So 20101. We got no results. No results found. All right, hang on. Was it for Virginia, apparently? I'm sure this is one of those wacky zip codes are crazy, man. Virginia Beach, perfect. Let's use that. Hopefully this is close enough. All right, you got a hedgehog living in Virginia Beach, which I'm sure is phenomenal. Right in the water, coastal experience. I mean, maybe tourist season gets a little hectic, but I'm sure it's just phenomenal. It's looking like T-Mobile and Verizon are delivering the best speeds in terms of download, right? Like 227 megabits per second on T-Mobile, 200 on Verizon, 128 on AT&T. Looks like Verizon is a little bit of a fan favorite here with over 1,000 tests conducted. Reliability scores 8.9. Upload is a little bit better on T-Mobile. I think it could go either way. Considering T-Mobile is currently experiencing an outage, I feel like a little bit tricky to recommend them in this particular moment. though I'm sure once the outage is resolved, it'll go back to being excellent. I would maybe lean towards the Verizon network. And I mean, there's multiple factors for this, but Verizon network performs well, and we've got the total wireless deal. So I would consider doing that, like the Total Max 5G, bring your own device, phenomenal plan, great network, good speeds in that area. Doc scenario, I think that's, if you know a hedgehog and you want to hook your hedgehog up, I think hook them up with Verizon. I think that's the deal. I think that's the deal. Jason asking, is your hedgehog named Sonic by any chance? That is a great question. I like that. All right, it's Blinks. Hey, bro, I've had bad service in my house. T-Mobile, Verizon is bad in my neighborhood. AT&T is all right, but is there any way to improve coverage besides Wi-Fi calling, just usually for power outages? Man, I'm going to be honest. I think the answer is probably no. Because if you have a power outage, here's like what happens when you have a power outage, right? What happens is everyone goes from using their at-home Wi-Fi network to all of a sudden connecting to the cell networks. All right, you've got your neighbor Tony, you've got the guy down the street, Austin, you've got Cheryl. Everyone is connected to the same tower, and it's all their phones, all at once, all at the same time. Especially with iPhone and Android, they have, I think it's handoff. No, it's not called handoff. What is it? It's the Wi-Fi connectivity assist. Man, I'm just going to look like a psycho right now. My phone screen is red. I do this to minimize blue light so it's easier to go to bed. Of course, there's a lot of irony because I'm looking at like the brightest, bluest light in the house right now. But anyway, the Wi-Fi, we have connectivity assist. And so that means people's phones will automatically switch from Wi-Fi to cellular. I don't think there's anything you can do. Like if you run out of power, then the thing that you need, or a device, any hardware device that you are using, like what comes to mind, like you could potentially use a helium hotspot, okay? And that turns your Wi-Fi service into service that can be used for voice calls and texts and cellular connectivity. But if your power goes out, then the helium hotspot goes out because it was relying on your home Wi-Fi anyway. You could potentially get like one of these, boom, like a hotspot device of some sort. But again, this particular device is not, there's no backup battery. You have to have this plugged in and powered on. And even then, you'd probably want to boost the reception with an external antenna. And that's like probably $500 to $1,000 in total expenses there. So yeah, I mean, I would say best case scenario with the knowledge that I have now, you're hooking up, you're getting some sort of Wi-Fi hotspot, you're putting a separate plan on there, you're getting an external antenna to really get the best signal to the tower, and I think that's your solution. Or you get Starlink, and you need like an external battery bank or something to like power that. So I wish I could be more helpful, but I think that's it. The hedgehog is named Sean. Oh, he's so cute. Hook that hedgehog up, bro. We're trying our best. We're trying our best. Who is best for mobile service data and cell phone coverage? JMC, if you've been watching the stream for any amount of time, you know it varies so much by location. We were just looking at Virginia Beach. Let's do, I'm kind of in the Boulder, Colorado area. And you can see here, it's totally different. The speeds are different. The numbers are different. Everything's different. So it really depends on your location. And the best way to find out is really to put your zip code in here and see what the crowdsourced data says. That's the best way to get the most accurate and best performance in your area. Stetson, is US Mobile Premium warped or simplicity? Priority is data. I think the question is asking about US Mobile Unlimited Premium Warp or Verizon Simplicity, in which case we can answer that question. Bestphoneplans.net. This is the best website. By the way, really quickly, has anyone actually used the phone plan calculator website? Put a lot of time into this. So I'm curious if you guys are using it, if you like it, if you have any feedback. This is like, how many lines do you have? How often do you upgrade? You can just like add them in and then be like, Oh, I upgrade from let's actually do a Samsung or a Galaxy. Oops, maybe you have a S24 Ultra and you want to get the S26 Ultra and you upgrade maybe every 2 years. Oops, every 2 years. Boom, you can do that, apply changes, and then bam, finds the best plans. Let me know if you guys use this, phoneplan.calculator.com. Curious what you think. Anyway, to the question at hand. Let's just do it. Let's crush it out. We're going to reset the comparison here. And then we're going to do premium warp. That's the fastest way to find this plan. Add comparison. And now we're going to do simplicity. I guess I appreciate that it's the only plan that has that. All right, comparing these plans. First, price. Regular pricing, US Mobile is going to be cheaper, $44 with tax versus $45 plus tax, probably closer to $51 after tax. However, you can get it for $30 a month if you bring your number, which is nice. After that, maybe it's like $36 after taxes and fees, $38. So Verizon could be cheaper, and that's actually shocking and kind of nice. In terms of plan features, I never know how to notate this because this applies to almost no one, maybe like 0.0005% of people. Verizon's plan technically comes with unlimited high-speed data, but you're getting 500 gigs at high speed before being capped at 4 megabits per second. US Mobile is more vague in their data usage policy. They advertise unlimited high-speed data. You could probably use a bunch, but I'm sure if you used a terabyte in like a week, they would be like, yo, maybe don't do that kind of deal. So mixed. I'd say for comparison purposes, both are probably equal. Both are unlimited priority, QCI 8. US Mobile, 50 gigs of hotspot. Verizon, 10 gigs of hotspot, and then unlimited at 1 megabit per second. Not necessarily bad. I think the big advantage to Verizon is you can purchase a hotspot add-on that's like $10. I wish these add-ons were easier to find. All right, we have to go to mobile. We have to do to my plan. Then we have to scroll down and we see the add-ons right here. Boom. And there's a mobile hotspot add-on, $10 a month. And this gives you, I think it's 100 gigs. Yeah. $10 a month for 100 gigs or $20 for unlimited. Phenomenal value if you need a lot of hotspot. Arguably better than US Mobile. Watch and tablet line. Watch line is included versus $750 extra for a watch. Keep in mind, this is before taxes and fees. The watch line could easily be like $12. Tablet line starts at $10. Tablet line here, $20 for unlimited. And then international calling and texting included versus, included international texting, but add on for calling. Way better international roaming included. 200 minutes, 250 texts, and 20 gigs in Canada and Mexico. And then also in 125 supported destinations. This you have to buy the add-on. You get 2 gigs in Canada and Mexico. I think that's 2 gigs per month now. And then it's $10 for 3 international days. So just different. Honestly, if you're mostly in the United States, I think Verizon simplicity might actually be better. Because if you bring your number and it's, let's say it is $36, well, that's a cheaper plan that basically gives you everything you need. And the priority is data, then, man, it's tough to say. The 500 gigs is a little weird. I think if you use like 600 gigs on US Mobile, maybe they wouldn't say anything. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I mean, maybe Total Wireless is another option, right? That Total Wireless plan here, this is on the homepage. It's so good. This has the same unlimited priority data, unlimited hotspot at 5 megabits per second, 720p video streaming, and superb international features as well. For $25, this might be the move. So, hopefully that helps answer your question. Yeah, I don't know. From a mobile app perspective, I much prefer US Mobile. And this is only because I move my eSIM between phones more frequently. But from a price perspective, I mean, the bring your own device deal is not bad from Verizon. We'll give US Mobile one more shout out though. And then I do see we have a super chat. US Mobile's plan is currently discounted to $24.90 a month with that annual option. So if you're open to annual, that could be worth considering. All right. We have a super chat coming in from Richard, last name 12. Thank you so much for your generosity and support. I appreciate you. Unsure if speed or coverage matters more. What network would you recommend in New York City? Also, why didn't Visible get wiped when Verizon did a few months ago? Yeah, I talked about that earlier in the stream. To answer the Verizon versus Visible question, when Verizon had that massive outage, the reason it didn't impact Visible customers, which are using the Verizon network, is because how the network is architected, right? There are certain components that Visible uses for the Visible sort of network core. And I think it was for the MVNO core as well. And there's sort of a split. And so whatever was being used for the MVNOs remained totally unaffected. Whatever was being used for the Verizon postpaid service, that was impacted. And so it was somewhere along the chain that was on the Verizon postpaid side, but it didn't impact the MVNO side just due to somehow the tech stack or how everything is architected. I really have no idea, but there's a divide. There's shared resources and then it definitely splits at some point, and it was just the issue is in the split somewhere. So hopefully that helps explain it in some capacity. I'm sure someone else could give a way better explanation of that. But that's my understanding, at least the gist of it. All right. Does speed or coverage matter more? You can't use service that you don't have. At the same time, we are rapidly approaching an era where coverage is almost the same between providers. And that means speed is more important. So if we do coveragemap.com, I mean, New York is just like blasted. So we'll do New York. Just wait, sorry. New York, United States, New York. We're finally in New York, everybody. All right, we have 7,200 tests on AT&T, 8,600 tests on T-Mobile, 7,700 on Verizon. That's actually a really great distribution there. I think the answer is T-Mobile. I'm shocked to say it. Maybe not at the moment because they're currently experiencing an outage, but I would definitely give T-Mobile a look. 390.1 megabits per second average download speed, 52.3 megabits per second average upload. That's genuinely insane. 10 out of 10 reliability, 99% coverage. Second pick, in my opinion, is Verizon. 180.7 megabits per second down, 29.6 megabits per second up. Also incredible. 10 out of 10 reliability and 100% coverage. So both are probably going to be great. Depending on plan, I mean, I keep promoting the Total Max 5G Bring Your Own Device plan. It's such a good value. Could be worth it. Mint is also phenomenal with their annual option right now, $15 a month, $180 up front. So that's also excellent and worth considering. Yeah, it's tough to say. You probably can't go wrong is the truth. There's so many people living in New York City that if one carrier is bad, they lose all those customers, right? And so there's big incentive to be good in New York. I don't think you can go bad with either one of those. Yeah, it probably comes down to pricing. I would say the Verizon network probably has some better plans right now, which is a little surprising. But yeah, try it out and see what you think. Ellen is saying, I'm on a friend's Verizon plan. I've been using it to get data for Coverage Map. Appreciate that. We're also near the end of the month. I'm kind of curious. Oops, I just minimized my window. There we go. I'm curious who is on the leaderboard right now. So Coverage Map, we have it's crowdsourced, and there's a leaderboard. Who is winning? Daniel. Oh, my gosh. Shout out to you, Daniel. 146,000 points. Aztec 246, 119,000. Speed test Bay Area. I wonder where they're testing. Probably New England area. 94,000. The speed test channel, shout out to you, 89,000. Mischievous Mustache, 60,000. DB Samurai, 59,000. Scruds, shout out to you, Scruds, 56,000. Tilted Tripod, 50,000. Akiris 07, 48,000, and TX Republic 214. Shout out to you, 47,000. That is the current standings. The month is almost over, you guys, so these people might have it on lock. Is there any? Where am I? Here I am, number 27, 18,000. Shout out to this guy. I don't know who he is, but he just great, cool name, and yeah. Wow. Also, shout out to Perilous Meerkat, barely hanging on to the leaderboard by a thread there. Wow, so cool. These people are awesome. Yearly. I'm just, where am I? Where am I? Oh, 23 rookie numbers. I gotta pull this. I gotta pull this up. Thankfully, all time, still number 5. I've got that pretty much in lock. Man. C4 end of line is beating me at my own app. I got to quit YouTube and start driving around the country full time. I think that's it. I think that's the only answer. All right, what else we got cooking here? For T-Mobile service, get on the Google Fi 75% deal or wait for another US Mobile annual deal. Hop on Google Fi. I don't think there's any annual commitment to get that. I think it's just month to month, so you can leave at any time. So 100% do that. And the pricing is too good. Make sure, by the way, go for the maximum Google Fi plan because you cannot upgrade or downgrade when you get the promotion. And if you're going to get the promotion, just like get the best plan and use that. So that's what I would say. Kaysen, I'm placed number 420 on the monthly leaderboard, so don't feel bad about that. Verizon could be good in New York City if you're in a neighborhood with millimeter wave. That's also facts. That's also facts. Yeah, my visible service was fine. I use 100 gigs or less a month. I was thinking of simplicity for access to 5G SA since the prepaid services don't. Saif, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Saif K, forgive me if not. That's genuinely a great reason to get simplicity. Have I been able to measure the real world impact that makes? No. Am I interested? Yes. If you're able to measure it, let me know. I think that could make simplicity totally worth it. And that means maybe I should get a line on simplicity. Huh. I should try it out. All right. Let's do, all right, you pronounced it perfect, bro. Awesome. Saif, I appreciate you. Yeah, I now that you say the 5G SA, could be worth it. Likely not too much of a difference, but it'd be fun to check out, and like, it's a good price. Does having 5G standalone matter if you have good T-Mobile coverage? Nope, it doesn't. Well, it'll improve coverage at the edge of the cell, and it can improve speeds, but for most people, most of the time, it doesn't matter. Stetson, what multiple speed test settings do you recommend when on a road trip? These are the exact settings I use. I'll show this live on the stream. Whenever I go driving around Longmont, which is both too often and not often enough, this is what I do. We'll walk through it tap by tap. I do run multiple tests. I do the smart automatic mode. I link the download and upload, and I just do 7 seconds. And then I also make sure to tag this as driving. Now, the reason I do the smart automatic mode as opposed to the driving test is the driving test is hammering the network once every 5 seconds, no matter what. This means if you come to a stop at a stoplight, your phone is just running like 10, 20 tests at that stoplight. We don't need that. That's going to overheat the phone, and that's going to use extra data that we don't need to use. Smart, I think, is better because what it's doing is it's running a test once every 5 seconds, but it's only starting that next test if you've moved 0.1 kilometers or farther. And 0.1 kilometers is the smallest square size. So if you're going the right speed, you'll still hit all of the squares. So that's what I use while I'm driving around. I think it's the best setting, and that's what I recommend for road trips. You'll get a lot of points, especially if you do what I do. This is my cheat code. You triple phone it. All right, you get one on Verizon, this guy right here, one on T-Mobile, and one on Verizon, one on AT&T, and that's the stack. You put all these up right next to the vent on your car so they don't overheat. You get that going. You can plug them in, and then you just drive around. You just drive around. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is good. Lennon, we'll cover this again. Talked about it last week, but I should make a video on it because I think people are interested in this and it's a really simple solution. What happened? If you go to buy an iPhone now, Apple has locked the phones that are financed with the carriers. But there is still one way to finance an unlocked phone. And this, for full transparency, could change as soon as tomorrow once the new iPhone leasing program goes live. Where is that tab? Here we go. The Apple leasing program. Whenever this goes live, this could change. But for today, in this moment, you can currently finance an unlocked iPhone. Let me show you exactly how. So you're going to select the phone you want, select that finish, storage capacity. If you're doing a trade-in, here is where things get important. You're going to select finance. Now, what changed? What changed is the AT&T installment plans. Well, this one was already locked. What changed was the T-Mobile equipment installment plan and the Verizon device payment program. These used to provide an unlocked phone. Now, these two provide a locked phone that will only work on T-Mobile and Verizon respectively. But there is still a way to finance an unlocked phone, and that is simply to use Apple Card monthly installments or the Apple iPhone payments program. So if you select this, you still need to choose a carrier, but all of these are coming unlocked. You see, is it easy to get connected? Click this at the bottom here. When you purchase an iPhone at Apple by paying in full or financing with an Apple financing option, you'll receive an unlocked model that you can use with any carrier. So that's all you got to do is select. I bought this is actually a T-Mobile model. So I did T-Mobile, but Verizon will also work. You grab that, you continue, and then you place your order and you're good to go. This could change with the new Apple financing program. We'll have to wait and see, but that is currently the way to do it. Worth noting, one more asterisk here. For the Pro iPhones, it is the Air, the Pro, and the Pro Max. You are not required to verify your account. You can just click continue, and you're good to go. For the base iPhone, you are required to verify your T-Mobile, Verizon, or AT&T account. And sorry, it got off the financing option. You're required to verify your account, and so you're unable to finance an unlocked base iPhone at this time. So hopefully that clears that up. Oh. Guys, hey Siri, set the scene to A-roll. I know it got really dark and scary for a moment. That is my lights doing their automated 8:30 p.m. Set everything to red. See, my phone is red. My house is red. So I think that's a sign to wind it up here. I think that's it. I'm cooked. I'm tired. You guys are amazing. Oh, has anyone ever done a serial speed test across an entire Amtrak overnight sleeper train route? That would be awesome. I did do a train ride from New York to Boston, and I ran tests all on that, and that was pretty sick too. That's another great way to get a lot of points. One more thing for all 212 of you here right now. This is an early preview. Let me hang on 1 second. I have to sign in. It's very exclusive right now. Here we go. We're going to sign in with this account. From my fingers. Okay, here we go. Here's an early sneak peek. Launching this week, very soon, it is signal strength. That's right. We are launching background signal strength data. AT&T, let's do T-Mobile. Here, you can kind of see it. Color profile, heat map. Background signal strength data is coming this week. We can only collect it on Android because Android is the only app that gives us the permission to do so. But I've been testing it out, as you can see in Longmont, measuring the signal in dBm. It is so freaking cool. I think you guys are really going to like it. I mapped out this area here for no specific reason at all, but it's excellent. It's really like, it's so cool. And this is all passive. I'm just driving around, doing my thing, and it's mapping. It's glorious. I think you're really going to love it. It's going out this week. It's coming live. If you're a pro user, you already have access. So there you go. All right. Now I am absolutely wrecked. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's live stream. If you enjoyed this, please hit the like button. That really helps support my channel. If you choose to purchase a cell phone plan, please consider buying through the Best Phone Plans website or using one of my affiliate links in the video description. Those all help support me at no additional cost to you, and I greatly appreciate it. Consider sharing this episode with a friend. There will be timestamps once it goes live on YouTube and is a, what do you call that? A replay video, a on-demand video. I forgot what it's. Anyway, there'll be timestamps. We gotta end this. Kyle, appreciate you. Have a good night. You guys have a good night. Take care, and I will see you next Monday. All right.